Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma and Jasprit Bumrah. Imagine if the BCCI were to ban the child from representing the Indian cricket team. That would be calamitous, right? India went through a similar tumultuous phase a couple of decades ago when they decided to ban India icons Dilip Vengsarkar, Kapil Dev, Ravi Shastri, amongst others, from donning the Indian blue. Today, we'll be talking about one such story and how all of this eventually led to the debut of one of India's greatest cricketers ever, Sachin Tendulkar. The year was 1989. India began their cricketing season with the disastrous draw of the Caribbean islands, which saw them play cricket for over 2 months without a single victory. If the Test saw them go down 3-0, the mighty West Indians humbled them yet again in the ODIs, as India were whitewashed 5-0 there as well. Viv Richards, usually known for his batting exploits, was particularly threatening with the ball. He ended up as their best bowler in 3 of the 5 ODIs. When it was time for them to return, some of the senior pros decided to make a small detour to Canada and US for a few friendlies, at Sunil Gavaskar's behest. But all of this was done without any authorization from the BCCI, leading to a lot of unhappy faces back home. The friendlies were played against the travelling Pakistan and West Indian side. Playing on a tight schedule, the side was expected to play 4 matches, 3 against Pakistan and 1 against West Indies. The players were lured by the significantly high pay offered by the organisers. They were reportedly being paid $10,000 or so for approximately 2 days of play, while 2 months in the Caribbean fetched them just about $1,600. You can see why one would find it hard to refuse such an offer. While contemplating the risks involved in going past the BCCI, the players felt that they would at worst get away with a fine of 10,000 15,000 rupees, an amount the players were willing to pay for. However, this is where things turned for the worse. Sitting in the Garwari clubhouse at the Wankhede Stadium, a special disciplinary committee constituted by the BCCI were busy discussing. They then decided to ask the players to explain their actions to a committee that included former BCCI President PM Rungta and Madhav Mantri. Some of the questions asked were, did you sign any contracts with organizers in the US? When did you get an invitation to play matches in the US? How much did you earn? Who bore the travelling expenses to and from the US? In reply, most of the players admitted to their mistake and assured the committee that they would exercise more caution in the future. In return, they requested the board to show some leniency while making the decision. Unfortunately for the players, the BCCI felt that any decision taken now will set precedent for such future incidents. To show that they won't be taking any such actions lightly, they decided to ban 6 players. These included Arun Lal, Dilip Vengsarkar, Kapil Dev, Kiran Modi, Mohammad Azharuddin and Ravi Shastri. The players were banned from playing any cricket organised by the BCCI or any of its organised bodies for a period of 1 year, starting from 6th of August 1989 and ending on the 5th of August 1990. A fine of Rs 35,000 was additionally imposed on the banned players. They were a bit more lenient with the junior players, which included the likes of Narendra Hirwani, Sanjay Manjrekar and Robin Singh, as they were let off with just a monetary fine of Rs 50,000. The banned players called for a press conference in Bombay, where 5 of the 6 banned players were present. While their tone was apologetic in general, the players also tried to defend themselves by bringing up the issue of lack of pay. Kapil Dev even went on to say, "It is like telling a pujari to not perform puja. Cricket is our religion." Meanwhile, skipper Dilip Vengsarkar questioned the BCCI's motives, saying the players wanted to know whether the board would have taken such a harsh step if they had won the series in the West Indies. The 5 players also drew the public's attention to the fact that team manager S. Venkat Raghavan was fully aware about the tour and alleged that he had given them the tickets and passports. Kapil added, "We want to play for the country with honesty and respect. Our performance in the West Indies was poor, but it doesn't mean that we should be punished in this way for it. If the cricket-loving public of India doesn't help us, we will become helpless." BCCI tried to justify their decision by citing the ICC representative's reluctance to Indian players playing such friendlies in countries not recognized by them. Although this claim was debunked by the ICC just 2 days later, as they denied having any involvement in said matters. Despite this, the players' ban was not lifted, and the players, with the help of Mohinder Amarnath, approached the Supreme Court to help them resolve the dispute. Hearing the petition, Chief Justice E.S. Venkatramaya stated, "Let us forget everything and just play the game of cricket." All this negative attention had significantly hurt the BCCI's image in the public. In fact, the Chief Justice himself said, if this matter is considered too deeply, it will adversely affect the position of the cricket board. The Supreme Court seemed to have taken a stand in the players' favour, as it felt that players requiring to sign a contract to play matches is not in their best interest. The Chief Justice added, if an 18-year-old young player is getting an opportunity to travel abroad, he will be ready to do anything to get it. After the Supreme Court hearing, the BCCI organized another executive committee meeting, post which the ban and fine on all players was revoked. Sensing this to be the right time for them to demand a long overdue hike, the players hastily assembled a players' union that commanded a more than twofold increase in their salary. It was now the BCCI's turn to take to the media to inform the general public about how a team that had been completely demolished just a few months ago was demanding a hike instead of working on their game. The move worked, as the Indian team agreed to drop Pakistan without any hike. The resolution notwithstanding, Dileep Vengsarkar opted out of the top, citing mental and physical staleness. Meanwhile, the likes of Arun Lal and Mohinder Amarnath also faced the axe. Instead, a certain 16-year-old Mumbaiker named Sachin Tendulkar was brought in as one of the replacements. And that, my friends, is the story of how Sunil Gavaskar's advice to go and play in the US unintentionally led to Sachin Tendulkar's debut a few months later. Thank you so much for watching this episode of cricket.com Classics. Do check our channel out for some of our latest offerings.